Hi, welcome back to the Plate Tectonics Lab video. So now we're getting ready to capture some data after doing the pre-lab questions. And what I'm going to do is for each of these types of plate boundaries, I'm going to grab the two types of crust described for each type of plate boundary and then undergo that type of plate boundary. Your job is to observe what happens when during that plate boundary and use it to fill in this table. Notice that this table has three columns at the end. So first question is which process occurs, subduction or uplift? And subduction occurs when one plate goes down below another. And then uplift, as it down, means when the plate rises up, when one or more plates rise up. So you're going to look for that. The next column here, what features do you notice? So there's volcanoes. Do you notice if a volcano forms? If there are mountains, and if there are ridges or trenches. So a ridge or trench basically means a sort of like a split in the ground. And then mountains here referring to non-volcanic mountains. So any of those things that you notice, you're going to list them as you see them. And then where in the world, this is for later. Later, what you're going to do is either using the readings or going online, is find an example of this type of plate boundary. So like, for example, continental, convergent, look up an example. And then which of these features that you observed in the simulation, would match that. So for example, if in a continental convergent, there is a volcano, I'm not saying that there is, but let's say hypothetically, continental convergent results in a volcano, and if that place in the world has a volcano, you would write that location has a volcano, and so that would be the feature that supports it. All right, so let's get started. We're just going to go through the simulations and you're going to write down your observations, essentially filling out these 1-2 columns as we go. And then you also want to draw, just quickly sketch what it is you're seeing as well underneath the type of plate boundary. First one up is continental convergent. So we're going to grab 2 continental crusts, 1, 2. I'm going to show the labels here so we can see what type of crust we have. And I'm going to show density and temperature. So convergent means that the crusts are coming together. And so for that, I'm going to pull the levers toward each other. So I have my hand here and basically following the green arrows. Okay, great. So now that you've seen it, you can take a quick sketch of this. You can pause the video, take a quick sketch. Notice that there's a change over here. What is that change? It will help you identify what type of features you see. So go ahead and fill in these 1, 2, 3 columns, drawing, process, and then features that you notice for continental. All right, if you need more time, you should pause the video. I'm going to reset it now. And then do the next one, which is continental old oceanic convergent. So continental, old oceanic, and since I have oceanic, I'm going to add some seawater. I'm going to label it, and I'm going to show both types. And so for this one, convergent, it's just only this lever. I'm going to converge means they're coming together, so I'm going to bring them together. Okay, so that's the end of that simulation. If you need to rewind it, you can as well. Notice there's some features here that you want to pay attention to. There's something going on over here that you want to pay attention to, and use that to fill out these 3 columns in your table. All right, if you need more time, you should pause the video because I'm going to reset it and go on to young and old oceanic. Okay. So once again, there's some things happening. Take a look. If you need more time to capture this information so you can fill out these 1, 2, 3 columns, you can go ahead and do that. If you need to rewind it to re-see it, you can do that as well. I'm going to go on now to the next simulations, which are divergent. So I'm going to reset it, and we're going to do old and old oceanic divergent. So divergent means that the plates are moving away from each other. So I would follow the red arrows where they're pointing away from each other. Just going to move the lever. Okay. I'm actually going to redo that because I think I may have used the wrong types of crust. It's supposed to be old and old oceanic crust. So I'm going to redo that. There we go. Notice that the labels say old and old oceanic crust. And again, this is divergent, so I'm going to move them apart. Okay, I'm going to pause here for a moment. Notice that we started with old and old oceanic crust, and in the middle, there's something, a different type of crust forming, so you want to note that as well. Continue to move this apart. Okay, so what are the features that you see here? If you want to see that again, you can. So you can rewind. You can also pause the video if you need more time to capture the information to fill in these 3 columns of your table. All right, I'm going to reset it now for the next type of divergent, which is continental divergent. So we're going to take 2 continents, and I'm going to show seawater in case that's important. I'm going to show my labels. Okay, both temperature and density. All right, so again, divergent moving apart, following the red arrows. Okay, so take a look at what you have now with the features that you see there, the different types of crust. If you need to do it again, in fact, I'll do it one more time, but you can always rewind it yourself. All right, make sure you fill out those 3 columns in your table. If you need more time, you can pause the video. All right, we've got 2 more to do. We're now doing transform, and that's where the crusts are moving or sliding past each other. So I'm going to reset this. And the first type we have is young or old oceanic transform. So let's mix it up. Let's do 1 young to the left and then old to the right. Doesn't really matter in this case. And then for transform, we're following the blue arrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this lever towards me. Okay, what features do you notice? What do you see? How would you draw that? So you can go ahead and put that in here and then fill out these 2 columns as well. If you need to see that again, you can rewind. All right, last one is continental transform. And again, I'm going to show seawater here, both with my labels on, so we see what type of crust we have, and here we go. Okay. All right, so what type of features do you notice, if any? Make sure you get these 3 columns filled out. All right, so that's it for the simulation video. You've seen all the simulations that you need to fill out this chart here. Later, you can go back and find where in the world are these things located. And then don't forget you have these post-lab questions that you're going to answer based on your what you saw in the video. All right, that's it. Good luck with your lab.